It is time for another update on the markets to see what you should be watching most. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. And do you think that the Batman villain, the Joker, ever references the fact that the Steve Miller Band wrote a song about him? Some people call me the Space Cowboy. Yeah, that's enough singing for this channel. Let's move on into SPY. We're going to kick things off with the technical analysis here. By the way, we have a ton of Fed speeches coming up. Over the weekend, we hear from Jerome Powell at 3:30 on Sunday, and that's Eastern time. And then Monday into Tuesday, we have a lot more Fed speeches. So how that I compact what we see here is that it is possible that depending on what we hear from the Fed during that time, that over the weekend, or that we close lower for Friday going into the weekend. So that's something to watch out for. Now, on the bullish side of things, we're up above the 50, and we're also up above the other moving averages. On the bearish side, we have this sell-off that we had where we peaked out and then sold off quickly, getting a high wick on that candle there. But we do have some support lines coming through here from historic support, including the retest of this previous all-time high that we had. We could see that support also hold. And I do think that we still have some green days ahead of us. And, we'll have to see if we can see continued upward movement, or if we start to set a little bit, give back a little bit from this most recent climb that we made before we start that next leg. So moving over into QQQ, this one, there's that shooting star candle that we see there. A nice high top wick on that one. And NVDA is going to be something with their earnings on the 22nd that we really want to watch out for. Actually, they are down in the pre-market. We'll get to that in a moment, along with another stock that is up. And I think the two of them are sort of in an interplay right now because of some of the news that we got out there. So for the Qs, about the same thing as the SPY. We could retest that support, but I do think that we still have some more highs to put in before we start to see some of the bigger lows come in. So moving over to Bitcoin, got a little bit of a bull flag coming up. And you can see that we have to break about that 66.5 line, 66.6 line in order to continue rising off here. The momentum is looking pretty good on the daily chart. We're up above the 50-day. We sold off a day ago, my goodness. And then today, recovering from those prices, we'll see if we can break to the upside on that one. If we can break out of the top of this here, I think that we start to take on the 70,000s and possibly even that new all-time high. So we're going to have to be watchful for that. For Bitcoin, if we break back down below the 50, that's something that we could actually sell off from. We should watch the momentum indicator, the RSI on the daily chart there as well, for further indicators of what's going on. Moving over into N phase. So for N phase, man, we came up, hit the top of this trend line. We were able to close above the 200-day. We were able to close above the 200-day. We were able to close above the 200-day. And we also retested the 50 EMA and SMA several times. This is still looking in good shape right now for a further climb if we can stay up above those moving averages. And if that momentum continues to build for us, I do have my long position and my dollar cost average position that I have, which is also a long one for this. So I have an options play out there and the shares themselves. So this is when I'm looking for that golden cross moment. I think that we could see it sometime in the near future, especially with all this consolidation that we have right here, this compression of those moving averages. There's going to be a breakout coming. Right now, we're getting signs that it's to the upside on that. So we're going to have to be watchful for N phase, and that's the way I'm currently positioned. Moving over into Tesla, finding support yesterday at the 50-day SMA that we're looking at, but still finding resistance at the 50-day EMA. And so we'll see what happens with that going into the weekend. And right now we're still sort of in that middle territory, even as per the RSI that we have down here. That for Tesla, we're still not getting a clear indication of direction. One of the clearest indications that we have is that we are still down below the 200-day, which is all the way up here at $215 per share. And being below the 50 EMA on this one, still a further bearish sign that we have. We're above the 50 SMA, which is bullish. So either we start to reverse from here and head back up and find out where that resistance is up above, if we're going to find out if we're still in this range from about 183 up to about 194, or we get rejected and we start heading back down and we start to look for support again from those levels. And so we're going to have to keep watching on Tesla. There's arguably possibly a little tiny inverse head and shoulders that you have here with shoulder, head, shoulder, and then this little peekaboo kind of ruins our neckline a little bit, which would be right about across this yellow line that we have here. So if we do get that, that could be a significant push upward for Tesla. In this case, it would take some significant catalysts in order to get there. I don't think that it does it without any news coming out for Tesla to the upside. So we do want to keep an eye on that. And it's a company that I continue to dollar cost average into over time. Moving over into NVDA. NVIDIA down just a little bit in the pre-markets. What we did was we found this resistance right across here, across the previous all-time high. The next time that we hit a high point, and now this most recent high point. But you can see these bottoms are still moving upward. We're still squeezing, putting pressure on that resistance. And I still think that we could possibly get that $1,000 moment coming up prior to the earnings for NVIDIA, which are on Wednesday of next week. So today, maybe we close wherever we close, and then I think Monday, Tuesday are going to be the exciting days, possibly even Wednesday itself. So we're going to have to be watchful for that for NVIDIA. And I said there was some news out there, Microsoft sucking up the let me get the name of the AMD chips. There we go. An AMD alternative, it says. There we go, the MI300X. I knew that I could remember that. I pay a lot of attention to NVIDIA, and AMD I don't track probably as well as I should. But you can see yesterday we actually had some downward pressure moving us back down below the 50 EMA and SMA. Let me collapse that. Let me expand this. And you can see we actually found resistance also at the 50 SMA from where we peaked out before selling off down again. But with that news from Microsoft showing that demand for the AMD chips, we're up a little bit in the pre-market hours for this one. We do have to break back up over that 50-day in order to return to a bullish scenario. And now, mind you, I think that with the RSI also moving into bullish territory, that we could see some significant upside coming off of AMD. So guys, those are my thoughts about the stocks and the indices that I'm currently following right now. If you want to see more of what I'm following, more of what I had to buy and sell, you can find that link for the Patreon down in the description. If you want to learn to do technical analysis like I do and take your trading game to the next level, you can also find that link down in the description. As always, guys, I really do appreciate your time here. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning, and we'll see you in the next video.